Welcome to Protect and Grow with Chicagoland certified financial planner Tim Stearns of TJ Stearns Incorporated. Trust, respect, and results. TJ Stearns Incorporated focuses on comprehensive financial planning and benefits.
Welcome into the program. This is Protect and Grow Chicagoland Retirement with Chicagoland's certified financial planning professional, Tim Stearns, CFP, president and founder of TJ Stearns, Inc., providing guidance and perspective on the financial world and all of your planning matters to make sure you make well thought through and informed decisions. Tim, always a pleasure to have you on the program.
Peter, thanks for having me.
And we are going to be discussing today a pretty important topic. How do income plans survive in down markets? We're going through a pretty turbulent market right now, Tim. Nobody likes to see the market lose value or less money in their investment accounts or retirement accounts. Yet here we are. And yet for those in retirement, it is even more of a significant impact when there are market declines and losses. That's the importance of having an income plan. We're going to discuss how specifically the income plan component works to address the potential of down markets and give you confidence and sustainability with your income, even throughout them on today's program. But ladies and gentlemen, if you've got questions or concerns, pick up the phone and give Tim Stearns CFP a call, 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256, 800-640-2256. Tim, the income plan really can help provide some solid financial investment and retirement sense of well-being and confidence despite the market conditions.
Well, I think the first thing you have to ask out there is that if you're scared that you're going to run out of money and you don't have an income allocation plan, then you should get with an advisor that can provide that for you. I'm not talking about projections that you'll make 8 to 10% over your retirement, that type of thing that I've seen from other advisors out there. I'm talking about a real income allocation plan that drills down to the nuts and bolts of how you're going to pay your bills in retirement. So that when downturns in the market, like what we're going through right now, and volatility is happening, you're not worried that you might have to go back to work, that you might have to not do what you used to be able to do, that you're going to trim back on trips. You're not going to be living your retirement. These are the things that we go through with people. An income allocation plan will definitely help you spell out how you're paying the bills and exactly what you're doing with your whole plan.
Well, as we talk about the benefits and strengths of an income plan, even during the midst of down markets, Tim, could we back up and first and foremost define what an income plan is and what it looks like, how to know if we have one or we don't?
Well, an income plan addresses many of the problems that we have in retirement, which is, how much guaranteed money that you have coming in and how much bills you have going out. It's that simple. But most people haven't taken the time to figure out if that's a doable thing. So when we do an income allocation plan, we give them a fillable form that they address all their different bills, all their different assets, and we try to find if there's some holes in that. It's going to show you what the holes are in the plan that you might have. Do you have long-term care addressed? Do you have, enough money to get through a 30-plus year retirement? Have you turned on Social Security? Do you know when you want to? Have you done a report? These are all the things. Everything but the kitchen sink is the one client that we just got about a month ago. He had no plan, and he was very, very concerned because his portfolio had gone down 20% right after he retired. And so his concern was, do I have enough money? He had never done the exercise.
Yeah. That would be scary. I mean, I understand the concern there. And I am younger. I mean, I'm obviously still in my paycheck earning years here. And I don't like to see a 20% loss, but my work ethic, my setting the alarm and showing up to work and putting in the sweat equity is my income plan. And so even though the market's down right now, I'm still fairly confident about my financial progress, Tim. And if worst came to worst, I've got my ability to hustle, right? I could pick up extra hours. I could get a second job. I could even look for other career opportunities if need be. But that's kind of the fallback plan, because right now I don't want to touch my investment plan or retirement plan, but we don't have that same luxury once we're in retirement.
What we try to make people understand is when you are finally retired, whatever you had in your 401k that last day, the only thing that's going to make it grow is if the market goes up, right? You're going to be taking money from it. You will be a net seller of assets. So at the end of the day, to figure out that amount that you're going to need, how are your bills going to be paid? Most of our clients, say, I want to get a check on the 15th or the 30th, however that looks, just get me that X amount of money, or in this next month, we're taking a trip that we've always wanted to take, and we have a growth bucket for that. So it's all about having a plan where you have guaranteed money coming into the house, and then obviously having a growth bucket that is in different areas, we're trying to just grow it. The only thing we do with that bucket is try to go out into the market using stop losses, using institutional plans. We're not using just rank and file mutual funds. We want to have plans that have stop losses so that people have and keep the money that they earned so hard over their careers.
A very different set of circumstances, in other words, Tim, in retirement. And yet we are not really educated about the financial and investment transition that should go along with that. And an income allocation plan, having that in writing, really addresses several of the new risks that we will face throughout our retirement that we never really had to face during our working career.
Right. So, it's a different world. Every day is Saturday is the joke, right? But I find a lot of people kind of shrink back from living their retirement because they're afraid that they don't have enough money. And then you see this market correction of 20% that really makes them give pause to spending money on something that they wanted to do. Their whole dream, their whole careers were to go to, let's say a trip over to Europe, and now the market goes back 20%. What do we do now? That type of stuff. So you need to make sure that you're understanding exactly where the money is. And this is great for both sides. Both spouses need to know how things are. In my family, it was my mother knew where everything was, and my dad was kind of just went along with the program. And we like to do is have both parties in here, both spouses, and go over exactly what retirement's going to look like, what they have, what they don't have, so that there are no surprises if God forbid one of them passes.
And Tim, you've provided a list of specifically what an income plan helps us to address that an investment plan alone does not. How much income needs to be generated? Where will this income come from? What order should income be created, from which accounts first, second, last? How will income survive in challenging markets, as we're discussing today? What will the tax implications be? How will inflation be addressed? Healthcare expenses, how will those be addressed? Can discretionary assets be identified? How can we address an unknown longevity? And what will the impact to lifetime income? What impact will lifetime income have on legacy? So all of these factors that our investment plan simply does not address. So the status quo from Wall Street and in the financial industry of these projections, Tim, while many forecast for some periods of the reality of periodic down markets, most of them are overly optimistic by not addressing all of those factors, I feel.
I agree with you. And one of the things I'll say right off the bat, I'd say 90% of the plans that I've seen don't address the 800-pound gorilla in the room, which is taxes. You have right now a very great opportunity to be doing Roth conversions. If you're out there wondering, should I be doing that? Your advisor should be helping you with that. If he or she has not done that, give us a call. We'll be happy to sit down with you and show you what a Roth conversion looks like. Right now we have 2022, 23, 24, and 25 under the current tax laws. which the income tax brackets are the lowest they've been in over 60 years. Great opportunity for some Roth conversions. Not telling people to take a whole bunch of their money and do it, but to bleed it in there to mitigate some of the taxes that we're going to have to pay. And I just sat down with a gentleman on Friday, and he had never heard of the Secure Act. I feel like a lot of advisors are not educating their clients. And that's why week after week, we have our retirement classes at Roosevelt University and Harper College, and they're filled because people want to learn and want to know, what am I missing? I think I know everything, but do I? So if you're out there and you have a quandary like Social Security, we cover that. You have a quandary of what's going to happen when you have to go on Medicare and what that is. We cover all the bases. And I'm the youngest of 5. All 4 of my siblings are baby boomers. If you're a baby boomer out there, attend the classes my siblings did. And if their little brother can teach them something, I know I can teach anyone anything.
Great opportunities for you to learn more about the factors that will impact your retirement, ladies and gentlemen. Pick up the phone, give a call to TJ Stearns and Tim Stearns CFP. Find out when those next classes are. 800-640-2256. Go ahead and register for an upcoming class. 800-640-2256. 800-640-2256. Or Tim Stearns CFP does also offer the valuable opportunity as an extension of the education on this radio program to show you how and what applies to your specific situation through those complimentary review and strategy session opportunities. If you would like to have a one-on-one with a certified financial planning professional, pick up the phone, give Tim Stearns, CFP, a call, 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256, 800-640-2256. Tim, fair to say that the income planning process is a little bit more pessimistic than the optimistic projections that most investment plans are based on?
Well, I will tell you this. When I sit down with someone, I tell them this is the worst case scenario. We don't assume a huge return every year in the market like some of these advisors do. Yes, I show them, I would say it's pessimistic, but the last thing you want to do is have a guy who's over-promising and underperforming. We want to underpromise and overperform at all times. So when we're doing a income allocation plan, we make sure that it's the worst case scenario and make sure that they understand that the money. We're not counting any chickens before they're hatched type of analogy. We're working in the reality of now and knowing that they can retire.
Analysts from JP Morgan, Tim, from Bank of America have come out with reports forecasting lower than historic rates of return that they anticipate for the next decade. Some of these forecast a 1% or 2% rate of return forecasts for the next decade plus. How would an income plan survive in that kind of environment versus an investment plan?
Well, the one word I would tell you is an annuity with lifetime income, right? Lifetime income. If I have a mutual fund and I have $100,000 in there, and after 10 years, I take out 10 grand a year, all things being equal, that money is gone, right? And an annuity, which to some people is a 4-letter word, which I find humorous because most people are not educated as to what they can do. With a lifetime income of $100,000, it will continue to pay out on me and my spouse. So my wife would continue to receive it if I wasn't here anymore. I don't understand why more people don't look into those, get educated, and then make your decision. They seem to have been a pariah to some people, and they just don't understand it.
Well, and Tim, we're talking about that retirement income plan. We don't wait until the day that we retire to begin to put that in place. In fact, there are some specific opportunities to begin to place those foundational pieces before retirement, whether it's an old 401k from a previous job or that age 59 and a half in-service distribution milestone. There are times and places to begin to structure your retirement income. What are the benefits of putting some of these pieces in place? In some cases, maybe years in front of and ahead of our intended retirement target.
Well, if you're out there in our Chicagoland, you're looking to retire, let's say 5 to 10 years from now, putting money into an annuity will give you a higher payout in retirement. So why not look into it? And again, get educated. Our retirement classes are going through the end of December. Again, at Roosevelt and Harper, give us a call. We'll get you some dates and get you signed up for the class. There's no obligation. I promise you will leave with a lot of information. One of the things we do use is the income allocation book by David Gaylor. It's kind of our textbook. For the first 10 callers out there with over $500,000, $500,000 in assets, we'll be happy to give them the book for free, Income Allocation by David Gaylor, that we actually use in our classes. I have had so many people get educated up on what they're looking to do in retirement that they feel better after reading this book. I include my siblings in that and all their friends. So I know it works, and it's going to make people have a better retirement by being educated and working in the know, KNOW.
If you would like to receive that essential retirement planning strategy guidebook, Income Allocation, pick up the phone now and give a call, 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256. It specifically outlines the risk that you leave yourself exposed to with only the investment plan in place that can be successfully addressed by including and incorporating an income plan component to your total financial outlook. Again, Income Allocation, the guidebook being used by advisors across the country looking to help their clients better understand what it takes in today's modern world to retire with confidence. If you would like to read a copy, if you would like to receive a free copy, just be the first 10 callers to today's program. And these strategies do work best for those with at least 500,000 or more saved in investable or retirement assets. If you meet that criteria, be one of the first 10 callers, 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256. So Tim, we sort of premised this conversation with how income plans survive and thrive in down markets. What about up markets? If I've got that income plan in place and the market does go up, am I foregoing any gains or progress that I could have made?
My gosh, no, not at all. The part that you need to worry about is the down markets. We participate in the up markets as well. Our growth products did great in 2021. And in 2022, they've stood the test of time there too. There are absolutely no guarantees when you're in the stock market or bonds or anything like that. But with having stop losses, we can stop the bleeding that I've been seeing. All these different people come into our office with envelopes that are unopened because they don't even want to look because they're so scared of what happened so far in the market. These are the things that we can mitigate, analyze, and then move it over to us. We're happy to show them a better way to do things. If they don't like it, like we said, it's all liquid. They can go right back to where they used to lose money.
The thing that's always struck me about these kind of conversations too, Tim, is that those with higher net worth, with larger portfolio values, the percentages may be the same, but the dollar amount is more significant. Inflation affects everybody sort of at the same percentage, but it's going to make a bigger dollar amount impact on those with higher incomes and higher net worths. A market downturn, the same percentage across the board, but if I've got 100,000 versus $1 million, much more money lost there. And by the way, taxes, the big one you mentioned earlier, taxes are under a progressive system. So that's an even more expensive factor to be omitted and overlooked for those with higher incomes or higher net worth.
Right. And the number one cost in retirement are taxes. So we talk to everyone about that to address that in our income allocation plan. It's very important that that's addressed. The second biggest cost is medical. And, people don't know what that's going to entail. These are all things we educated people about so that they become a educated consumer.
Tim, I was recently reading up on the IRA. The government loves their acronyms just to make things confusing. The Inflation Reduction Act. the same initials as our individual retirement accounts. But the Inflation Reduction Act has a lot of people worried. A, does it actually address inflation? But B, will there be any new taxes? And the official language was that the Inflation Reduction Act will not pose any new taxes on individuals or couples earning less than $400,000 a year. Let's take that at face value. The language and the words matter. New taxes, right? They did not talk about the already on the books tax increase that is slated to increase everyone's taxes. The 12% will go up to 15% in 2026 that you were talking about. We do need to plan as part of our income plan. We need to plan for tax increases into the future.
I agree with that. And the other thing I've noticed in their history is that they introduced that to the wealthy, right? And then it starts dropping the amount, and then they start coming after the upper middle class, et cetera. And next thing you know, we're all paying that tax, whatever that looks like. So, I would be weary of what's going on in Congress and keep your eyes out, because they're going after the millionaires. Nowadays it's going to be the rank and file people next.
Department of Health and Human Service statistics, Tim, show that 69.8% of people require some level of care during their lifetime. The healthcare expenses can be significant. We all know that and are aware, maybe not as aware as we should be. But how does having an income plan in place help us to address this question of healthcare, medical, and long-term care expenses?
Well, I will tell you right now is that one of the things we tell people, you have to have some sort of a long-term care plan, whatever that looks like. A lot of the life insurance policies that we do has chronic care in there. If they can't do two of their activities of daily living, they can kick in taking out 25% a year of the death benefit tax-free. That is something. If someone tells me I don't need that, I make them sign an affidavit saying that I told them to get this, because the last thing I want is their families to come to me down the road and go, why didn't you give my mom and dad this? They should have had that. These are things that are, we make sure that people are aware of them and that they should be doing them. Because like you said, 7 out of 10 Americans are going to need long-term care, and 9 out of 10 of us don't have any plan. I know my wife and I do, and all of my siblings do, because I know the chances are very, very good that either Jen or myself will need that.
And Tim, finally, we are talking about that income plan, having a specific plan for how to spend your assets over your lifetime. We may believe that this is going to negatively impact the positive financial legacy that we would like to leave behind. But on the contrary, if we have addressed all of the steps in income planning, then more than likely we increase the potential for leaving that positive, impactful financial legacy.
And if you're out there and you want to leave a legacy for your family, obviously an income allocation plan will help with that, because we'll get ahead of it. We'll address the taxes, we'll address the medical, we'll address the long-term care, so that you can leave money to your family and your extended family. That is, that's why I love life insurance in retirement, because it's pennies on a dollar. It's a fact. The leverage is better than any mortgage that you ever had part of. You put a little bit of money down and you get a nice big payout tax-free to whoever you're leaving it to.
So Tim, we're talking about that written retirement income plan. Fair to say that by defining our income, it helps us to better define our outcome into and throughout retirement.
I would have to say 100% of the time, people come in here and they do an income allocation plan, they feel better. It's also dynamic. So if they say, I want to retire in 5 years, and then suddenly they're going to retire in 3 years, we can move things around. We've also had people push it out 10 years. Whatever we will work with people to make sure that life happens, that we're moving with them. And we're always up on the newest, plans that are out there, what's going on with Medicare, Social Security, all those things that people don't know about. We're always, doing our continuing education. That's the difference here, is that we're running the full gamut.
down markets do have savers and investors reasonably concerned. Most concerned are those living off of assets that are subject to and currently experiencing significant losses, or those that intend to live off of those assets in the very near future that are subject to risk. Will I have enough? Will the market come back? Do I have time to recover? Those are the questions that having the written income plan specifically helps us to confidently answer and address. These are the questions that Tim Stearns, CFP, helps his clients through each and every day, that educates the public about in his retirement classes. If you'd like to attend one of those classes, if you'd like to come in for a complimentary review, pick up the phone and give Tim Stearns a call. 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256. Again, for the first 10 callers with at least 500,000, you are also going to receive the book Income Allocation, that essential retirement planning strategy guide. 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256. Great opportunities for you get plan put together. That written retirement income plan, ladies and gentlemen, we have seen valued at and go for $1,000, $2,000 or more. But Tim Stearns, as part of this program, extends the offer to you to put that together with you and show you how an income plan would be beneficial for your retirement confidence. Give a call, 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256. Tim, always a pleasure. All out of time for this segment of the program, but thanks for being here.
Thanks, Peter.
Tune into Chicagoland certified financial planner Tim Stearns' full radio program on 890 WLS every Sunday at 11 a.m. and visit tjstearns.com for many valuable resources, including other great episodes of Chicagoland Retirement. Be sure to subscribe.
Securities offered through TJ Stearns, a registered representative of Crown Capital Securities LP, member FINRA SIPC. The information presented on this program is provided for informational purposes only without warranty of accuracy, completeness, or suitability for particular purpose. This program is not intended to be and does not constitute financial, investment, legal, or tax advice. This information is general in nature, not specific enough to be construed as advice. You should not make any decision based on the information presented on this program without independent consultation with an appropriately licensed professional or competent advisor. Investment in securities or the market involves a potential risk for loss of principal. Trading, therefore, may not be suitable for all listeners. Annuity guarantees are based solely on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing company. Withdrawals of growth from annuities may be taxable as ordinary income in the year it is taken. Individuals should review contracts for specific details of the product's features and costs.